Good evening. How are you? My name is Marlon Rose. Today I will give you a job description of a paramedic. Just think about this. You're on scene with an individual and he says he's consuming 35 pills. The next thing you know, he goes unconscious. What are you to do? None of us would probably know what to do, but generally, on a daily basis, a paramedic would know what to do. This is what they usually deal with. Today I will be informing you on what a paramedic job description is, training, and their salary. Let's go ahead and start off with the paramedic's job description. From healthsafetyworld.com, they describe that a paramedic, according to them, they describe that a paramedic job description consists of being called by 911 in an emergency situation. They drive an ambulance truck and pretty much get there as soon as possible. Usually normal arrival times are within 5 to 7 minutes. Once they get there, they deal with simple minor injuries. Also mass casualty incidents, anything that pretty much consists of them having to help an individual. They deal with different medical dosages, they deal with AEDs, they do CPR and things like that. Also, when paramedic gets on scene, their duty is to assess the individual using the ABCs: airway, breathing, and circulation. Once they do these things, their job is to transfer the patient to the hospital if they want to or not. Now that you know what the paramedic job description is, let's go ahead and go into their training. Going into their training, according to EMS1.com, they state that before you can become a paramedic, you might want to be an MTB first. You have to be an MTB, which is Emergency Medical Technician Basic. You go to school for approximately 120 hours. Once you go to 120 hours, depending on where you are, it roughly goes to 150. Once you finish that, you have to take a state examination. Once you take a state examination, then you'll be qualified to go ahead and become an EMTB. Once you have those down pat, it takes about 9 months to become a paramedic. Now, when you become a paramedic, you go through a certain amount of training as far as ALS, which is Advanced Life Support, PALS, which is Pediatric Advanced Life Support, as well as Trauma Advanced Life Support. These are the things that you have to do in order to become a paramedic, because your job consists of you actually seeing and doing things to help people to an extent that the ER would usually do. But now, since technology has advanced, a lot of paramedics are able to do what the ER does in the back of their truck. So, now that you have a great understanding on what EMTs do as far as training-wise to get to that point, become a paramedic, we'll go ahead and transition over into what the salary is. Now, according to BLS.gov, which is the Bureau of Labor Services, they state that a mid-range for a paramedic is about $31,000 a year. Hourly is about $14.91 a year. Now, being as at that rate, you can't really consist of thinking, okay, that's not getting paid much, which is a low starting rate for most jobs. But as a paramedic, you can go ahead and grow in that position. Depending on your amount of years of service, you usually get hourly rate. Your hourly rate usually goes up each year. For certain areas in Florida, that is, it's AMR, American Ambulance Services, and Miami-Dade Ambulance Services as well. They usually give certain pay raises so you can go ahead and advance in that career. Also, depending on your geographic landmark on where you're going to stay, whether if it's in Florida, may get paid more, or even whether if it's New York, may get paid more than that. But just know, depending on where you are and how long you've been there, will depend on your salary. So you may not stay at $31,000 or $14 an hour. So for me to conclude this, just to let you know, now you have the breakdown of the job description as a paramedic, as well as the training, and as well as the salary that it takes. I just want to tell you, if you're ever thinking about getting into that position, you will pretty much probably like it at one point in your life. Thank you. Have a good day. I had 4 minutes.